Hey guys, this is Eckhart Slaughter. Hello and welcome to another reaction video over here on the channel. We've got something very different but very fun today because instead of reacting to an official trailer or something like that, we're actually checking out something very cool produced by my good friend Cinematic Captures. Now, for those who don't know, I'll just click on his channel. Cinematic Captures is one of the best and coolest Star Wars YouTubers around, in my opinion. We've previously talked about his Shadow of the Republic short film, also various other things that he's done, and he's making content like nobody else is. So before we get into a reaction on his newest video, make sure you go over to his channel, throw up a subscription, because trust me, the content is more than worth it. Cinematic Captures is also a really nice guy. We've hung out several times in person at EA and Star Wars events, and we'll actually be partnering for something very cool, which I can't quite talk about yet, but which I think you guys will definitely be interested in if you're enjoying this look at fan films and Star Wars fan creations. And today we're specifically looking at Ahsoka's Decision, which is a deleted Clone Wars scene, or a scene from the Crystal Crisis arc that was unfinished, that Cinematic Captures has taken and actually went and finished himself, and of course put it beyond the original intended quality. And if you want to see, just very briefly, what the scene originally looked like, let me just skip ahead. It's cursed. It's not good. It's a little bit disturbing, but you can see right here that obviously Cinematic Captures has managed to do something very special with this scene. So we're going to review it in full in just in a second. I'm going to put something annoying over my screen, at least part of it, just to encourage you guys to go watch the scene in its original form, as I always try to do with these videos. And of course, as I mentioned, while you're there, go drop a subscription to my friend Cinematic Captures. With that being said, let's go ahead and check out Ahsoka's Decision. I'll turn the volume up a little bit. But again, you want to listen to this without me yabbering over it, I guarantee you. Alright, I'm going to be stopping as well, so that's going to get annoying. A lot of what Cinematic Captures does uses really cool cutting-edge technology. So in this case, using a motion suit provided by Rococo. And that's kind of not unlike what you'd see an actor wearing when they're, doing mocap for a video game. And a lot of what Cinematic Captures does uses sort of video game techniques. He does stuff in Unreal Engine. He uses VR equipment or virtual cameras. It's all very cool. A little bit different in this scene when compared to, say, his Republic Commando scene that he did, because this has sort of all been pre-blocked out and everything, and he kept it very accurate to the original source material. But let's go ahead and continue. So yeah, on the plains of Utapau. I mean, just right away, the lighting of the fire, the sort of, I don't know if you'd call that like fog, volumetric fog, but the way that kind of low ground is covered by this mist is all beyond what we'd see in Clone Wars.
Anakin dwelling on the
Obi-Wan's, so I believe he did, so he's done some kind of behind the scenes videos. I believe for his mouth movements, he had an actor recreate the scenes and then kind of put them on digital assets. I'm not sure the character, if it's from a repurposed Battlefront 2 asset. I'm not sure if it says in the description. But yeah, very cool. Obi-Wan's looks particularly good because the beard also, to be honest, the beard also gives a little bit of coverage for slight, where it's just a little bit off. And because this is photorealistic, despite the fact that the lip syncing is certainly better than it is in like the Clone Wars, the regular animated show, because it is photorealistic, any slight imperfections, which is really all you get in this, come through a little bit more. So the beard kind of helps mask that a bit. Anakin's is still really good though.
I still can't understand how she could have left the order.
It's also a little bit hard to tie, like, animation is going to be a little bit more kind of direct in language, and the tone is going to be different than it would be for a real speaker. So some of that is hard to translate, but I think generally Cinematic Captures did a phenomenal job taking those things into consideration and trying to kind of work around them the best he could. Some animals in the back there. The movements in these animations always look the best. Like, watch the stick throw, for example. It looks so natural. Even the hand movements.
She's one of us.
She made the decision, Anakin.
Well, what choice did we give her? The moment there were any suspicions about her loyalty, the Council turned their back on her.
I understand why he wanted to do this scene too, because it does sometimes feel like Ahsoka leaving the temple and leaving the Order as a whole never really gets as much attention as it deserves, even in season 7.
But she chose to leave. Part of the Jedi way is not letting emotion cloud your better judgment. And that's precisely what Ahsoka did, even in her most critical moment.
Surprised Anakin's taken that. Just
Why don't you
stewing.
get some rest?
That scene in particular just looks very natural. Obi-Wan looking up like that.
Why don't you get some rest?
The eye movements.
I'm not tired.
Anakin having his temper tantrum like usual.
Keep first watch.
Well, then, I will accept your kind offer. You can't take responsibility for Ahsoka's decision.
This is maybe the one part that doesn't translate as well from cartoon to live action. The immediately lying down and talking, although it looks great. It would have been nice if the scene itself, and this isn't a criticism of cinematic captures, more the direction of the original scene. I think it would have worked better with a slight, maybe a time jump, not a long time jump, honestly, like 30 minutes or so. Maybe Anakin sitting away looking at the fire or something. Because it's kind of awkward just to lie down and look away from Anakin and start talking. But again, that's how the scene was designed, and cinematic captures kept very faithful to it.
How would you feel if I turned into a major disappointment?
It's not the same.
It's precisely the same.
I can't imagine that.
You took me under your wing and practically raised me. I'm your Padawan, just like Ahsoka was mine. How well would you sleep knowing I failed you?
Prescient question.
Not very well, I imagine.
Look at the fire and the lighting. It's just
Luckily,
like the lighting through the hair and whatnot.
that isn't true. And never will be.
Like the choice to add. I'm going to turn down a little. I like the choice to add the Imperial March, and there's a bit of Vader's breathing there too. Go check that out yourself though, because that's one of the best parts of the scene, but also the part that will immediately hit me with a copyright strike. But I mean, all in all, just amazing work. Actually, before I go check out the comparison, let's take a look at the credits to give, obviously, full credit to everybody. Again, cinematic captures is, of course, the mastermind behind these, but certainly not the only talent. We also have the episode itself. This is In Search of the Crystal from this Clone Wars Legacy, which is the collection of Clone Wars unfinished arcs. And of course, we have all the original actors and the writer and Dave Filoni. See who else was involved with this in particular. So yeah, we've got a mocap performance. We've got cinematic captures himself, did the facial animations. We've got various types of smart equipment, including gloves, because we did see some really good hand movements, even kind of idle hand movements. The suit itself for kind of the full body motion, then the face capture, which would have helped with the lip syncing, I'm sure. And then the sound and the music. We get models from a bunch of places, including Battlefront 2. I think that the Obi-Wan is from Battlefront 2, but maybe touched up a little bit. I'm not 100% positive. But just to kind of reiterate how impressive this is, there's a full comparison video here. And you can see he took kind of art into account, because the original scene itself doesn't give a lot of hints in terms of tone. It obviously gives the positioning of the actors, but I mean, it's not even clear in this scene that it's at night, besides for the fact that Obi-Wan is going to sleep, obviously. And yeah, it's not like he could just overlay a model over these animations. Even if that were possible, the animations are far too basic for that. But yeah, all in all, just another really impressive project by Cinematic Captures. This is not the first time we've covered some of his work on the on the channel. I think the last full thing we covered was probably Shadow of the Republic, which is less of a remake and more of a kind of a remake of an existing scene, and is rather, just see if we can load this up. My YouTube's picking a bad time to be slow. But rather than a remake of an existing scene, it's instead kind of a newly directed and just an independent thing, and it's obviously very cool. The clone troopers especially, or the clone commandos, look great, especially with the moody lighting and stuff. And just like in the prior scene, it is the lighting and I think the environment, which is the real star here. And then when combined with the really accurate motion capture of the suit and the gloves and the facial capture, and although not in this case for most of the characters, you get a really impressive product. So again, go subscribe to Cinematic Captures. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed looking at it. Shout out to Cinematic Captures. Amazing, amazing artist. And as always, guys, make sure you support independent creators in the Star Wars community, especially when they're making really cool products like this. Till next time, though, guys, have a good one. Be safe, and may the Force be with you.